Ladies and gentlemen, when you talk like a leader, it doesn't mean you must use big words, difficult English, or strong voice. No, a true leader talks in a way that everybody can understand. If your team cannot understand you, you are not leading. You are just talking. Clarity is one of the most underestimated yet most powerful qualities of a leader, a thinker, or even an ordinary individual trying to make a difference. When you are clear, you make people understand you, trust you, and follow you. Lack of clarity creates confusion, delays decisions, and weakens confidence. But clarity brings direction, energy, and alignment. It is like light in the dark. It shows the path not only for you, but also for those who walk with you. Clarity begins in the mind. Before you can speak clearly, before you can give direction clearly, you must first think clearly. A cluttered mind cannot produce simple words. Leaders often fail not because they lack vision, but because they cannot express their vision in a way that people understand. If you cannot explain your idea to a child, maybe you don't understand it well enough yourself. True clarity means you have simplified your thoughts until they are sharp and understandable to everyone. Clarity is also about purpose. If you do not know why you are doing something, every word you speak will sound weak. People follow those who are clear about why they do what they do. A leader who says, "We are building this company to make money," will never inspire as much as the one who says, "We are building this company to make life easier for millions." The difference is not in the activity, but in the clarity of purpose. When your why is strong and simple, your how becomes easier to explain and your what becomes more powerful. Clarity removes fear. When people do not know what is happening, they imagine the worst. But when a leader speaks clearly about challenges, about risks, and about solutions, people feel calm. They may not like the situation, but they respect the honesty and direction. This is why clarity is not about always having good news. It is about delivering the truth in a way people can understand and accept. Even in crisis, a leader who communicates with clarity gives people the courage to keep moving forward. Clarity is also practical. Think of the greatest teachers, entrepreneurs, and inventors. They are not remembered just because of what they created, but because of how clearly they explain their ideas to the world. A teacher who explains a lesson in a clear way gives confidence to the student. A leader who explains the strategy in a clear way gives confidence to the team. A speaker who shares a clear message touches the hearts of the audience. Clarity comes from simplicity. Many people think that to look smart, they must use difficult words, complex sentences, and technical terms. But real power is when you can take a complicated subject and explain it simply. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." The same rule applies to leadership, communication, and influence. People don't remember complexity, they remember clarity. Clarity is also action-oriented. When you give clear instructions, people know exactly what to do. When you give clear feedback, people know exactly how to improve. When you give clear goals, people know exactly where to aim. Confusion is wasted energy. Clarity focuses energy in one direction. A team with clarity can achieve more than a team with talent, but no direction. Clarity creates trust. When you are clear with your intentions, clear with your words, and clear with your promises, people trust you. They may not always agree with you, but they will believe you. Trust is built not only by results, but by communication. And clarity is the bridge between your thoughts and their understanding. Clarity is not a gift, it is a practice. You become clear by asking yourself questions, by writing down your ideas, by removing unnecessary words, by practicing how to express them better. It requires discipline, patience, and humility. The more you practice clarity, the more powerful your words become, the more confident your team feels, and the more influence you carry. Human beings have always been drawn to stories. From ancient times when people sat around fires sharing lessons of life through tales, to today, when leaders stand on global stages, stories have remained the most powerful tool to connect hearts and minds. Facts can inform people, but stories transform them. A fact tells you what happened, but a story makes you feel what happened. When someone gives you a number, you may forget it tomorrow, but when someone shares a story about a person, a struggle, or a breakthrough, you will remember it for years. That is the strength of storytelling, and that is why the greatest leaders always use stories, not just facts. Stories create connection. When you tell a story, you are not just sharing information, you are sharing emotion. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. A leader who knows how to tell stories makes people feel included. understood, and motivated. A story can make a stranger feel like family, a worker feel like a warrior, and a follower feel like a leader. Stories are the invisible bridge that connects your heart to theirs. Stories also make complex things simple. If you want to teach someone a difficult idea, wrap it inside a story. That is why religions use parables, why teachers use examples, and why leaders use experiences. A story brings ideas down from the clouds and places them on the ground, where everyone can see, touch, and understand them. Without stories, even the greatest truth can sound dry. But with stories, even the simplest truth can become unforgettable. But for a story to work, it must be real, authentic, and personal. A leader who shares only statistics sounds like a machine, but a leader who shares personal struggles, failures, and lessons sounds human. And people follow humans, not machines. Vulnerability in storytelling is not weakness, it is strength. When you share your own challenges, people see you not as perfect, but as real. And real inspires more than perfect. The art of storytelling is not about entertainment, it is about transformation. The goal is not just to make people clap, but to make them change. Every great story carries a message. The message is the seed, and the story is the soil. Without the story, the seed cannot grow. Without the message, the soil is empty. When you speak as a leader, remember this. Every story must carry a lesson, and every lesson must be wrapped in a story. That is how people will not only understand you, but also remember you and act because of you. Honesty is a rare quality, but it is the foundation of trust and credibility. A leader who lies may succeed for a short time, but will always fail in the long run. People can forgive mistakes, but they cannot forgive dishonesty. When you speak as a leader, your words must be true, not convenient truth, not half-truth, but the full truth. People follow leaders not because they are perfect, but because they are honest. Honesty in leadership is about courage. It is easy to speak the truth when the truth is pleasant. The real test is when the truth is hard, uncomfortable, and painful. But when you still choose honesty in those moments, you win the deepest respect of your people. They may not like what they hear, but they will admire your courage. Repetition is the mother of learning and the father of action. A leader must not only speak the truth, but repeat it until it becomes part of the culture. Many leaders make the mistake of saying something once and assuming people will remember it forever. But the reality is, people are busy, distracted, and forgetful. What you say once may be heard but not absorbed. But what you repeat consistently becomes part of their belief system. Great leaders understand this. That is why they repeat their vision, their values, and their mission again and again. Repetition builds clarity, and clarity builds commitment. When people hear the same message many times, they not only understand it, but they begin to own it. They repeat it to others. They defend it in discussions, and they live it in action. That is when repetition transforms from words into culture. Repetition also creates discipline. Every successful athlete, musician, or entrepreneur has one thing in common. They repeat the basics again and again until they master them. Leaders must do the same with communication. Repetition is not boring when it gives life to the vision. It is not weakness when it strengthens commitment. It is not wasteful when it creates alignment. Repetition is the rhythm of leadership. Consistency is the twin brother of repetition. It is not enough to repeat something. You must also live it consistently. If your words say one thing, but your actions say another, repetition will not save you. In fact, it will expose you. People do not just listen to what leaders say, they watch what leaders do. And when your words and actions match again and again, consistency turns into credibility. Consistency creates trust. People may not agree with every decision you make, but if you are consistent, they will know what to expect. Consistency reduces fear because people know where you stand. It reduces doubt because people know you will not change with every wind. It reduces confusion because people know you are steady. In a world full of change and uncertainty, consistency is leadership. Tone is the hidden power of communication. People may forget your words, but they will never forget how your tone made them feel. You can say the same sentence in two different tones and get two completely different reactions. A harsh tone can turn agreement into resistance, while a calm tone can turn disagreement into cooperation. Leaders must master their tone because it shapes not only the message, but also the emotions of the listener Tone is not only about volume. Many think that speaking loudly shows power, but true power is in control, not in noise. A whisper in the right moment can have more impact than a shout. A steady tone in a crisis can calm thousands, while a shaky tone can create panic. Tone is the emotional weight of your words. Confidence is the anchor of tone. Even if your words are clear, even if your message is true, if your tone lacks confidence, people will not believe you. Confidence does not mean arrogance. It means certainty. It means you believe in what you are saying. When you speak with confidence, your tone carries authority, and people trust your direction. But confidence must come from preparation, not just performance. The more you prepare, the more confident you sound. A leader who prepares not only for success, but also for challenges, speaks with a tone that shows readiness, and readiness builds trust. People follow those who sound like they know where they are going, even if the road is difficult. Tone and confidence together create presence. Presence is when people not only hear your words, but feel your leadership. Presence is when you walk into a room and people know you carry direction. Presence is when your voice becomes a signal of clarity, courage, and confidence. Leaders who master their tone and confidence do not need to demand respect, they naturally command it. Listening is one of the most underrated skills of leadership. Many think leadership is about speaking, but the truth is leadership begins with listening. When you listen, you show respect. When you listen, you learn. When you listen, you understand the people you lead. A leader who does not listen cannot connect, cannot guide, and cannot inspire. Listening is not about staying silent while someone else speaks. It is about being fully present. It is about hearing not only the words, but also the emotions behind the words. Sometimes what people do not say is louder than what they say. A good leader listens not just with ears, but with eyes, with heart, and with mind. When people feel listened to, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they give more than their effort, they give their loyalty. Loyalty is not bought with money, it is built with respect. And the fastest way to give respect is to listen. Listening also makes you wiser. You do not learn while you are speaking, you learn while you are listening. Every person carries a lesson, and a leader who listens collects wisdom from everyone. That wisdom allows the leader to make better decisions, avoid mistakes, and create stronger strategies. Listening is also leadership in action. When you listen to your team, you make better decisions. When you listen to your customers, you build better products. When you listen to your people, you create stronger cultures. Listening is not weakness, it is strength. Because those who listen carefully lead powerfully. Gratitude is not just a polite habit, it is a powerful leadership tool. When you show gratitude, you remind people that their effort matters. Everyone wants to feel that what they do is seen, valued, and appreciated. A leader who forgets to express gratitude will slowly lose the hearts of the people, even if the vision is strong. But a leader who practices gratitude builds a culture where people want to give more. Gratitude is not about big speeches or grand rewards. It is about simple recognition. A thank you at the right time, an acknowledgement of someone's effort, a small word of appreciation. These moments create loyalty stronger than money. People may work for a salary, but they stay for respect and gratitude. Gratitude also keeps leaders humble. When you are thankful, you remind yourself that success is not yours alone. It is a result of a team, of sacrifices, of opportunities, and sometimes even of luck. Gratitude protects leaders from arrogance. It keeps them connected to the people and grounded in reality. Gratitude also creates positivity. When people feel appreciated, they not only work harder, they work happier. A grateful culture is a positive culture. And a positive culture attracts talent, retains people, and multiplies results. Gratitude is not weakness, it is wisdom. A leader who shows gratitude shows strength, because it takes strength to recognize that you cannot do everything alone. Gratitude does not reduce authority, it increases it. Because people follow not only leaders who are strong, but also leaders who are kind.